Sarah, yes, you can go to a two-year college with the intention of maybe continuing your two-year college, your two-year degree at the university to finish your nursing degree. So but this change in the pattern of how vocational education, or CTE, was developing helped broaden career choices for everybody. In 2000, the Journal of Vocational and Technical Education became now the Journal of Career Technical Education. You see, they removed that vocational term out. In the 2006, how many here has heard of the Carl D. Perkins Vocational and Technical Act? I mean, that's where we got a lot of our money for career development. They are now replaced all their text and everything that they write in that act. They got rid of the word vocational and to change it to CTE. So one of the things that I'm constantly advocating here in Guam is that we need to also do that. And part of my role, my personal as well as my professional role, is to help others also understand the imperativeness of this. And I'll go further and explain a little bit more of the pedagogy behind all of this. Here's the quotes again. Okay, CTE is already occurring on Guam. You see it at GCC. You see it as work-based learning activities. We have projects like service learning, internships, job shadowing. These are all concepts under career technical education. Dual enrollment, that's something that I know, how many here knows that occurs here at UOG? That we have, there is, right? There's some dual enrollment occurring. Okay, so that's another aspect of CTE. Career clusters. Now that's something that I know GCC tends to work on, where students, let's say at JFK, are in the healthcare or nursing cluster, and so those kind of programs exist. And there's a new direction that is happening, like in the state of California, and this is they're advocating to Governor Schwarzenegger the full integration of CTE in academics, and this is what they're advocating. So a lot of the professors who are behind the research, I know personally, Professor Jeannie Oakes, Professor Ted Lewis, and they actually go to Washington, D.C., and they're working with a lot of DOE to help understand that this has to happen. It is the wave of the future. And I'm not saying that we have to get rid of academics, it's just that we need to consider CTE integrated into academics. And I was listening to Mr. Zimmerman here, and he was explaining, English composition or writing. And one of the models that they're working on is, let's say, career clusters, like let's say in communications, for example. They would partner with teachers or faculty members in English and make sure that their curriculum, the teacher preparation period that you have is team-oriented, so that what a career technical education teacher in communications would be teaching would integrate a lot of the writing skills or writing student learning outcomes desired, fully integrated within the curriculum, and it becomes more meaningful. Why should we even use CTE? Because of these are just one of a few items that research is pointing to. We already know that we've moved away from the industrial economy. We are now a knowledge economy. And we need to start preparing people to have this skill to recognize. I mean, the two young men out here, you two are still in college, correct? Okay, you have to start developing skills where you have to be able to adapt quickly to the changes that are going on. It's no longer where you're saying, okay, this is all I'm doing, this is all I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I think on average people are changing careers 7 times. Within the work environment, technology is constantly changing. So this is a skill set that we need to prepare our students, whether they are science majors, English majors, or nursing majors, or planning to go to med school. We know, just like all throughout the nation, just like Guam, that we have there's an increased need for skilled workers. We have a high rate of high school dropouts, and what they're finding in CTE research, that if a student is turned on about going to school because he sees the relevancy, he tends or she tends not to drop out. However, there is research also that is encouraging further research to demonstrate this. Because what's happening is when they capture data, just like you demonstrated, sometimes there are other factors that are playing that may impact the analysis of whether, let's say, whether are really identifying a vocational ed student. So let's say that the gentleman back there is you have a younger brother who's going to George Washington High School, and let's say he takes one class in culinary arts at GCC. Does that make him a voc ed student or not? So we may be missing some statistics that would help us determine whether, in fact, are we in fact helping in improving retention rates in schools. Through CTE, students are able to improve in their communications, math, and science skills. What they're also finding is that through CTE, there seems to be students who are graduating tend to not need remediation classes. So these are just a few more items. In the most recent literature from the Association for Career Technology Education, what they're proving is that a lot of programs that integrate CTE promotes very powerful learning, the high skill, the high level thinking, the metacognitive thinking, critical thinking skills. And these are the kind of skills that employers are saying we need our young men and women to be coming out of school ready to put these into practice. Some research, and the reason why it says 2000 and I picked this is because they're doing longitudinal studies. They're like doing comparison between graduates from 1982 versus graduates from 1992. What are they doing 2 years after they graduated? And what they're finding out that it was only the vocational students or CTE students that started taking, that were doing a lot more academics, that when they took those kind of courses, it was those individuals that were able to, like their college counterparts, sustain a better standard of living and was able to sustain their careers. Again, let me step back. We always have this vision that if we send a kid to vocational education or send a kid just to go to college track, that the one in vocational education is going to be super successful in their technical careers, and the one in college will be extremely successful in their careers. That's not necessarily true. What happens is when they go into vocational track, some of them never go to college. Some of them end up maybe staying in the same economic, socioeconomic level. But it is those vocational students that take a high level of academics that become as equal as their college counterparts. That has a significant message. What it basically is saying that regardless of whether you're going to college or you think you want to be a mechanic, an auto mechanic, all students need to be prepared the same way. That's what the research is showing. And so, like Professor Olson Saunders, and I believe they're in Berkeley, they are totally rejecting the tracking system because of this kind of research. And I just thought I'd toss in one more piece of information there. 81% of high school students who were disaffected with their school experience or just dissatisfied stated that if they just had more real-world learning, they would be more engaged in school and therefore would stay in school. Current trends. Okay, let me talk a little bit about CTE, CTE certification. How many here knows if there is such an animal here at EOG? Yeah, there you're right.
You know, and there isn't.
Is there?
Okay.
Is there? Okay. So if I said, you know, I want to be a CTE certified teacher, there is no such animal, I believe, here in Ireland. You can take courses. Here at UOG, there are 3 courses. Foundations of VOTEC, Vocational Technical Education. That should be erased. I think it should be Foundations for Career Technical Education. Education ED 405, Organization and Management of VOTEC Education. That's a lab course. And then ED 406, Evaluation and Improvement of Vocational Technical Education Programs. At Guam Community College, you guys have 2 courses, ED 245 and 246, Vocational Methods 1 and 2. Again, we are not